What's going on, guys? Chase on Two Wheels here in front of Mountain Motorsports in Roswell, Georgia. In front of me, we have the brand freaking new 2024 KTM Duke 390. I do not think I have been this excited for a remake on a model in a long time. And guys, as a first ride, stick around. We're going to ride this thing around the city, see how it is. And at the end of the video, I'll let you guys know if it's a purchase or pass and who this bike is for. But for now, I want to get this video started because I am stoked. Let's get it going and see what it looks like and see what it sounds like. Alright guys, that's what it looks like, that's what it sounds like now. This video is sponsored, so let's cut to an ad break super fast.
Before we get into today's ride, I want to give a big shout out to today's video sponsor, Aura. They're here to help keep our online presence safe and secure, which, let's be honest, we could all use a little bit more help with. Recently, I did a quick Google search for my name and email, and I was shocked by how much of my personal information is out there. That's why I turned to Aura. Speaking of personal security, a lot of you guys might remember back in 2022, my channel faced its biggest nightmare that it has ever had, and that is when we got hacked. So my YouTube channel was hacked. Oh my gosh. Now, that was a terrible time, not only for me, but for like everybody here. And it's something like that that makes you realize how vulnerable you are online. Now, ever since then, I have taken online personal security way more serious, and Aura has been a huge game changer for that. So what Aura does is scans for who is selling my information online and automatically sends out opt-out requests on my behalf. And get this, they found data brokers I never even knew existed. Data brokers, by the way, are not the kind of brokers you get sweet deals on stocks or vacation homes. Nope. These folks trade in something much more personal, your freaking info. Kind of like a secret admirer you never asked for and definitely don't want.
No! God, please, no! No!
While I'm out here enjoying the ride, Aura's hard at work reducing spam and protecting me from hackers. It's like having a little guardian angel for my online life. Getting started with Aura was super simple. It's all the online security I need in one place without the hassle of having to manage multiple apps. If you guys want to upgrade your personal security online, I highly recommend Aura. If you guys want to check it out for yourself, you can go to aura.com/chaseontwowheels. That'll actually get you a 14-day free trial. That way, you can do a test ride on it, see how it does, and it doesn't cost you guys anything to secure your personal stuff online. Speaking of test rides, I got a bike to ride, so let's get back to the first ride.
Alright guys, so this video is supported by our website, wbrgarage.com. That is where we get motorcycles, we ride them around, make content on them for you guys, and then when we're done making content on them, we actually give them away to our members over at wbrgarage.com. Right now, we're giving away a CF Moto 450 SS and a 300 SS, so you have double the chances of winning a motorcycle from us. All you got to do is go to wbrgarage.com, grab a membership, grab some merch. Whatever you do gets you entries automatically. The website keeps up with all of it, and everybody is listening to what I'm saying.
Love.
You guys. But go to the website and get memberships and get merch. That's all I care about. Oh my God. Alrighty, guys. If you are a member over at WBR Garage, let me know in the comments down below, and thank you for being a member. Let's get this first ride started. Dude, we almost didn't have enough room for the quad lock over here, but check this out. When my phone goes on here, I get like a little L double screen. It's kind of neat. So guys, I've ridden the 390 Duke many times before. I've currently got a 450 NK from CF Moto as a loaner bike. So I'm all in this kind of like naked low CC space right now, but I love the way this bike looks. So I am excited for today's ride. Let's get this thing going, get her cranked up, and then I'll tell you guys about how tall I am. 30 years of the Duke. Congrats, KTM. These buttons are very nice. The starter's kind of weird. You don't press it in. It's just more of a little button press. That's kind of strange. All right, guys, I'm 5'10", got a 32-inch inseam. We've got a thin seat here, and I've got bent legs. So you shorter riders are going to have a phenomenal time on this thing. If you're taller, though, we'll have to see if you're able to fit on this. All right, we're going to do a screen test. Right now, we are in kph, if you can see right there, kilometers an hour. Let's see how easy that is to change. That's not too bad. Oh, I can change it. All right, I'm able to change everything really easily. This is fantastic. All right, KTM, you got a really responsive screen and a very easy user menu. That's fantastic. All right, guys, that is all I've got to say. Oh, we do have modes. God, I almost did it again, guys. I've been bad about these the mode changes. Okay, we're in rain mode now. We have to start in rain mode. Let's get it going. Dun, dun, dun. Also, guys, apparently Steve Harvey is inside of Mountain Roswell right now. We'll see if he's there when I get back. I'll try to get a shot for you guys. That'd be really cool, though. Oh, shit, let's go. Oh, shit, we're in rain mode. That's pretty quick for rain mode, actually. I was kind of worried. Those cars are coming up quick, dude. Alrighty, guys. We are on freaking the 390 Duke from KTM. This is a pretty stacked class. I was looking into other bikes on the market that are competition for this thing. You've got the Z400 from Kawasaki. You've got the MT-03. You have the CB, what is it, 300 or 350? You've got the NK 300 and 450 from CF Moto. There are so many bikes in this category. So the KTM has a lot to fight for, and it's one of the more expensive ones, so you better bring me something. Alrighty, guys, it's a first ride. Let's talk about body position real quick. We have more upright handlebars. My arms are draped down. I will say the seat looked really thin when I was getting the bike rolled out of mountain, but right now it feels like it widens at the back, which is fantastic for me. It makes it a lot more comfortable, but it's thin up front, which is nice. I really like the ability to get my legs gripped around the tank, so that's super cool. My feet are back only a little bit, but overall, it's a really comfortable body position, especially for something to play around in the city on. I feel like I've got a lot of purchase on this bike and can just kind of like manhandle it all over the place. Overall, love the body position. We'll have to see how it is at the end of the day, but so far so good. Now, guys, I will say for rain mode, this has been great. I really appreciate the rain mode power delivery. It was a little faster than I expected it to by getting me out in front of all that traffic, but it's time for street mode. And can we all just appreciate that a 390 Duke has ride modes? So while we're stuck at this red light, let's check them out real quick. And also, look, you get all the KTM screen stuff. So we've got rain that we're in right now. We have a track mode and a street mode. So we're going to go into street mode now. We also have ABS. ABS is both Supermoto, which means you can lock the wheel up or lock the rear up if you want. And it keeps ABS on the front. You've got road. Road and Supermoto are the only modes there. We'll keep it in road mode. And then traction control. We've got on and off. We're going to keep that on as well. Oh, also, the bike has launch control. I will not be testing that, but I do think it's hilarious to note. Would have been a perfect opportunity to use launch control, but we're not doing that. Good God. I am a fan of street mode, turns out. Alrighty guys, let's talk about the engine real quick. We are on a 399cc single, which is no different. Like, that's pretty normal for the KTM Duke, especially the 390. Bike's coming in a weight of around 367 pounds. Power-wise, that single is giving you 44 horsepower and around 29 foot-pounds of torque. So I'm interested to see how that all combines to make the bike for a city bike. I also blend in with the cone, so I got to be careful. People might not see me. So guys, let's talk about the city performance on the Duke 390. And honestly, a phenomenal place for this bike. I feel like this single gives you fun little punchy power, but I am also shocked at every time I rev this bike out, because with a single, typically you get punchy power, but it's all down low in the rev range. And by the time you rev the bike out, the bike kind of dies out. That's what happens with a lot of singles. But this bike almost gets in a sweet spot when it gets halfway through the rev range. I have noticed that if you ride it at the top of the rev range and the bottom of the rev range, the bike does shake more than I would really like. But if you ride it in that sweet spot, which you really should be anyway, the bike is really smooth. So like right now, it's shaking a ton. But if I increase the revs a little bit, the bike smooths out a lot. It's very strange. And something to note, so just ride the bike in that rev range that it wants to live in. As far as city riding though, maneuverability, bro, this thing is fantastic. It's so light, you're up on the bike, and you have these handlebars that don't feel too wide, but you just have no weight to deal with. So you can get to going really slow. Look at that, 0 miles per hour, just chilling. This is becoming one of my favorite city bikes. I love this thing. The other thing I really like about this bike for a city bike is having the body position that I'm in. My head's upright, so I can keep that thing on a swivel. I do not have to worry about, looking over my shoulder and stuff like that, because I've just got plenty of visibility. And that ends up making me not use the mirrors as much. I end up only using the mirrors to see what's way behind me, and then when I'm in the city, I'm just kind of like looking around because it's so easy on this bike, which is awesome. That mixed with the handlebars, the freaking agility to jump and move this thing into any little spot, it just makes it easy for maneuvering these, what are mostly a chaotic area, like traffic's randomly stopping and sometimes you got to avoid stuff. You don't have any weight to deal with, and it just throws itself back and forth. I absolutely love it. And now we're going to get to pace it up a little bit and see how it feels. On paper, 44 horsepower and 29 foot-pounds of torque doesn't seem like a lot. But the second you start twisting the throttle, you realize why it has ride modes. Oh, I love it. I know most people are like, bro, a bike like that does not need ride modes, but when you start playing around with this and how light it is and how flicky it is, you could easily get yourself in trouble in the city with this. So I love to see ride modes. That's one of the things I really wish the 450 NK had on it from CF Moto. Like I said, I've had it as a loaner bike recently, and I appreciate the fact that these smaller bikes are starting to get a lot of the nice features that trickled down from the bigger bikes. We've got modes, we've got traction control, ABS, we've got a beautiful TFT screen that we'll talk about later in the video. It gives me an experience on motorcycling that gets me really excited. And remember, the person that's probably going to be getting this motorcycle is somebody that doesn't have a lot of experience. So why would you not want them to get to experience all of your modes and your electronic rider aids? It just kind of doesn't make a lot of sense that riders haven't been getting these on the smaller CC bikes, and which is a really exciting part about riding, like how technical these things can be. So I love that KTM has put all of that in this 390 Duke. Absolutely love that, but I'm not 100% looking forward to the highway. It is a 390 Duke, it's a smaller CC, and we have no wind protection, so the highway shouldn't be a super fun time. But we shall see. Oh, we gotta get in a track mode. Oh, I didn't get it in track mode. Oh no, I wanted to. All right, we're in track mode. I made it. Woohoo! Barely. Thank God KTM's menus are easy to use. All right, guys, I have a job to do. I've got to see how fast this motorcycle will go from 40 miles an hour to 80 miles an hour Thanks to our buddies over at Law Tigers. If you guys need a motorcycle lawyer, they are the peeps to go with. All right, I've been bad about motorcycles lately. I haven't been in the right gear. I think third is the right one. All right, guys, y'all ready for this? On your marks, get set, go. I don't want to rev it out this much, but I'm sorry, I've got to for the people! Woo! Oh shit, that's a piece of... Oh my God. All right, before I get fucking blown off here, what's the time for that 40 to 80? I did the best I could. I read this thing out far more than I wanted to for you guys, and I hope you appreciate it. I'm sorry, little KTM. Alrighty, guys, as you can see, power-wise on the highway is solid. I'm actually pulling at 85. That's actually surprising. And did you guys notice the screen changed when we changed into track mode? That's pretty cool. All right, so power-wise on the highway, yeah, I've got no problem. I'm in 6th gear. I'm going at 75 miles an hour, and I've got no shaking at all. I was really worried about the shaking after being on the city and being in that wrong rev range. So I'm really happy to see how smooth the bike feels right now. Power-wise, we're good. Agility, we still have some. The bike is still flicky left, right. It's actually far more powerful than I expected it to be here on the highway. I expected that power to have died out by the time we're at that point in the rev range. So props to KTM, love that. Now, we don't have any cruise control or anything like that, so there's nothing there to worry about. I will say on the wind department, we have nothing hitting us, and at 75, I feel totally fine. I don't feel like the wind's like really throwing me around, which is surprising because this highway is really windy. And with the bike being so light, I kind of expected to just get thrown around, and that's just not being the case here. So really happy with all that, honestly. This engine is nuts!
These nuts? Got him!
Woo! KTM, what kind of craziness did you put into this engine to allow it to do that? Dude, this is fantastic. I don't know what to feel about this. My God. All right, guys, I'm gonna go collect my thoughts, and while I finish up the highway section, I'm gonna listen to music on my Cardo. If you guys want a Bluetooth communicator for you, I've got a discount link in the description down below for a Cardo. I literally could not ride without mine, and they are the best on the market. So I'm gonna go listen to some music and hit the highway. You guys check out a montage, and I'll be right back. Alrighty, Cardo, thank you for sponsoring the First Ride series. And guys, remember, we got that discount code and link in the description down below. Check them out. If you need to listen to music, talk to your friends while you ride, it will change your riding experience. Speaking of riding experience, let's throw this thing over and see what's up. Is it ready to race? Oh my God, yes, absolutely it is. Dude, I could pass all of these cars on the outside lane, easy. Dude, this thing is great. I am loving this motorcycle. It is so happy getting thrown over. Also, did I mention it has adjustable suspension? What is happening? I love this. Alrighty, guys, way better on the highway than this bike had any business being. It felt super planted throwing it over, and that's with an adjustable suspension. I could have adjusted it and get it really feeling good for me. I didn't even do that. I'm just leaving the bike like it is. So that's fantastic. I am honestly shocked at how much power this engine puts out at higher RPMs. It is blowing me away, the capabilities of a single, both in the amount of power it's giving me at higher revs and how smooth that power is. I am totally here for this. The only thing about leaning the bike over that feels a little off is my body position. I'm not in a position to really like take advantage of it, and I do feel kind of awkward as a rider leading off, but the bike handled it incredibly well. So yeah, it's kind of weird. Like the bike felt like it could handle it, but me as a bigger rider, I'm kind of like, I feel kind of weird leaning off the bike and stuff. But as far as the bike's capability, totally solid. Now let's talk about transmission while we're talking about the internals of the bike. I will say the transmission feel when I shift into gears, I do wish it was a little more pronounced. I wish I felt it more. It's a little light feeling in the transmission, and that's a personal preference thing maybe. I feel like it's a solid medium area, but I like when I get a good solid click when I'm shifting. So personal preference there. We do not have a quick shifter on this bike either, just a heads up. I don't think anybody would have expected that. I obviously don't think I need it though. I've been totally happy without it. God, I love this engine though. It feels so good and fun. All right, what else we got to talk about before we get to the end of this? The brakes. Yes, we do have a single rotor brake up front. Let's make sure no cars are behind me, and let's see how much we can come to a stop. Yeah, riding hard just feels a little weird though. All right, coming to a stop. Let me get in this turn lane and then slam on them. We got ABS. Oh, I got no problems with those. Not on a 390. I will say that my only thing about the brakes is the lever. And I've double checked this earlier after we did the camera car run. I've got the brake lever adjusted all the way out. And even with that, I don't know if you guys can see, I can still pull the lever all the way to the grip. I've said this in a lot of first rides. I like riding with two fingers on my levers. And I find myself not being able to do that with the brakes. I end up having to pull on them with my full hand. So I don't love that. I would love the brakes to engage earlier on the lever and then have a smoother feel. But then again, I'm talking about a sub $6,000 motorcycle, so I'm not sure if I'm asking for too much with that. That's one of the things I am noticing. I would like to just two finger it. And the same thing with the clutch. They're both adjustable, the levers, but I've got them adjusted all the way out, but I just get a very light clutch pull. Kind of wish I had a little more bite there.
That's what she said.
A little more resistance.
That's what she said.
And engaging a little more.
That's what she said.
I mean, it could be as simple as a lever change, though, so it's kind of hard to say. Dude, this screen, it has a lap timer. Of course it does. Why not? Oh, you can literally change what lap you're on. Dude, that's so freaking cool. And then you can see everything. KTM, what are you doing?
That's what she said.
This is fantastic.
That's what she said.
All right, we're gonna have to go out of track mode. We're going back into street. We're back in peasant mode where I can't figure out how fast I'm going. Oh man, what a good bike so far. All right, guys, let's talk about the rider dash up here. I think it looks really cool. So, buttons-wise, the buttons don't look crazy premium, but they look along the middle of the road. But I will say I love the usability of the buttons. They press really well. You get a good tactile feel. But not only just the buttons, but guys, everything I touch. Turning the key on, really satisfying click. The gas tank opens up. When you put the key in, it opens up this way. Everything feels like it has fit and finish on it that I really appreciate. And I love the way they're doing the buttons, the layout of everything. I wish the buttons felt a little more premium, but one of the things we noticed is they are all backlit. And what backlit means is when you're in a darker area, like inside, these little icons will glow. Really nice freaking touch with that. And I don't think I need to describe how good this screen is. It is literally the same screen from their bigger models. The rider modes look the same as the screens on their bigger models. Never have I experienced before a lower model KTM that felt so much like the bigger one. And I love this for KTM. You guys know I talk a lot in my videos of when these manufacturers have a really strong line, like Yamaha has their R line, right? R3, R6, R7, R1. All the bikes look and feel very similar. With this bike and KTM's new line, I think KTM might be leading the charge in having the most cohesive line of all the motorcycles. KTM's Duke line, with this 30th anniversary line, they have got so much synchronicity in all of their bikes, both look and feel and ride. KTM is, for me personally, making big steps with this, and I love that. KTMs are a performance product. They are a little more expensive, but I'm very okay with a product being more expensive, even though this product's it's only a few $100s more than its competitors, so it's not even that much more expensive. But something can be expensive. I'm fine with that, but I want to get my value, right? Value has nothing to do with the price. It's about the price and how it is associated with what you are getting as a customer. And right now, don't get me wrong, I love the 450 NK. I think it's a phenomenal value bike, but this bike can cost, $1,000 more and also be a great value. I don't think it's as much as a value as a 450 NK, because 450 NK is $1,000 less and you get a lot of the stuff you get here, but you're gonna get a much more premium feel on this as compared. So great freaking job, KTM. I am totally here for it. Speaking of things I'm here for, we've got to do a walk around. I know you guys have been watching that camera car footage. Also, shout out to all of our sponsors. These companies that are sponsoring the First Try Show is what allows us to give you guys that awesome camera car footage, guys. So make sure if you see a sponsor sponsoring us, you support them whenever you can. It means huge deals to us, so use our links in the description down below. So guys, I just talked about how awesome and cohesive the KTM Duke line is with this new series of bikes, and I want to do a walk around because this bike, at least to me personally, I know a lot of you guys don't agree with me with the looks of KTM sometimes, but I think that this is well far and beyond one of the best looking low cc nakeds. Period. End of statement. There ain't even a conversation to me. Alrighty, guys. God, the orange. So, guys, that's our Duke 390. I think they have got the looks so down. This one now looks super aggressive like the Super Duke, just like the 790 and the 890 or the 990, however many 90s they have now. I love this angular stuff. It's fantastic. You even get the WP suspension on this bike now, which I do think is a standout feature. You guys that have been riding for a while that are looking for a smaller bike to ride, this is where you're going to want to go, because you're going to be able to customize that suspension for you. And it has all the rider modes. It's got the Supermoto ABS, so you can kind of get the rear out and have a phenomenal time. I just love the looks. The orange seat is hilarious. I think that's just awesome. The only thing I don't love about the looks is this kind of red situation here. I'm not a huge fan of that. But everything else, there's not a single thing I would change. I do feel like you need to either like or dislike the swing arm. It has that kind of 3D printed look, so if you don't like that look, it is what it is. But one of the neat things about this bike, if you guys notice here on the right side of the bike, which is always the quote-unquote pretty side, right? Because it's easier for everybody to see when the bike's over on the kickstand. KTM has put all of the pretty bits on this side. We've got the brakes and the rotors. We've got the rear suspension. And we have the exhaust. We've got all the fancy stuff on this side, and I freaking love it. Let's go look at the tail. Chop the tail off, make it a tail tidy. Rear looks fantastic. It's just a good looking bike, dude. The only thing I'm not a huge fan of, I get that it's there, but I don't love this kind of thick cabling that goes from here to here. Maybe a plate this plate extend all the way down so we don't have to see this. That's really, looking over the whole bike, that's the only thing that kind of stands out to me that I'm not a huge fan of that. Overall, though, I absolutely am digging this so freaking much. So, guys, what I'm going to do is grab my phone off my quad lock and do some video for our peeps over on Instagram and TikTok. We're at Chaseontwowheels on TikTok, and we're at CTWPics on Instagram. I'm going to make some content for those people, and I will be right back. Alrighty, my friends, that is it for the vertical content. Thank you guys that are following us on those other platforms. Guys, I love this bike. I am loving the hell out of this. The only thing there is left to do is talk about purchase or pass, if I would purchase or pass on it, and who is the bike for. And we will do all that after a steering stem lock test. All right, guys, steering stem lock test. Let's see how she does. I would say bottom 40 percentile-ish. One of the other things I'm noticing, and this kind of goes back to that lever conversation, the lever in first gear just kind of puttering speed, the bike is not very smooth. And I think that's because of the lever not being able to be engaged the way I want to and have that pull on the clutch. So something I've noticed when you're, and we're literally talking like parking lot, first gear type stuff. But the question is, do we purchase or pass on this? After that rain mode launch, woo! Dude, you get so much more power than you expect out of this bike. It's hilarious. All right, guys, purchase or pass for the KTM Duke 390. This one, guys, this one is a unequivocal 1000% absolute purchase. I will say, for the ideal rider, I don't think the Duke 390 is an amazing bike for a beginner rider because it will shock you. I don't care how much riding experience you have, it will shock you how much power this bike is putting down. Spec sheet, blah, 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 44 horsepower, don't give a shit. I don't care. I'm telling you how this bike feels, and it feels powerful. And it is, I believe, a little too much power, even in the rain mode, for somebody that doesn't have the knowledge they need to have on how to actuate the clutch and ride. This bike seems like it would be the perfect bike for somebody that has a bigger bike, like an ADV bike or something, or maybe a big super sport, and they just want a fun little bike to have fun on that has the power to where they won't get bored. That is the person that I think this bike is for. I honestly think if you had a big ADV bike for off-road and big touring, and you know, your weekend bike, you could sometimes ride it in the mountains or something, and then this is your fun little city bike, you've got supermoto mode, so you can just screech the wheel all over the place. You got a little wheelie hoon machine. You know, this is your fun little take it too seriously bike. And if you're using it in that style, I think you are going to maximize what you can get out of this bike. So yeah, if you guys are one of those people that you have some experience, you're looking for a second bike, and you've got a bigger bike that handles your big deal stuff, I think you would absolutely love this bike. This bike is one of the more expensive bikes in its category of the ones we were mentioning earlier. But I've got to say, if you want the best performance out of a low CC naked, this is your best bet. If you want the best value, I would probably steer you towards the NK 450 NK from CF Moto. But if you're a more performance-driven person, this is your thing. And guys, I definitely want to give a shout out to my guys over at Mountain Motorsports in Roswell, Georgia. I'll have a bike provided by link for them in the description down below. If you're in the North Georgia area, they've got a ton of freaking bikes. So go in, sit on them, see how they feel to you. And we appreciate them for supporting the show and letting us do this first start for you guys. Guys, that's it for me on the 2024 KTM Duke 390. I think I'm safe to say that this is my absolute favorite low CC naked. But you guys let me know in the comments down below. If you got to this point in the video, you've seen the whole damn thing, make sure to hit that like button. Let me know you made it this far. And put OC in your comment down below after you like the video. And let me know what your favorite low CC naked is right now. And if you haven't ridden any of them, let me know which one looks your favorite. And we'd love to talk to you guys about that in the comments down below. You guys are fantastic. Thanks so much for watching the whole video. It really helps us out a lot. Y'all ride safe out there. I'm Chaseontwowheels. I'll see you on the next one. Later. This thing is authentically amazing. Like, it really, I did not expect a bike to be this good. I thought it was going to be decent. I didn't think it would be freaking phenomenal. This is great. This might be one of the greatest KTMs I've ever ridden. Did not expect to be saying that today.